I'm quickly going to go through just some of those announcements, but hopefully it gives you a little bit of a view of where the market's going. And again, following the trends, Exonius, that's known for being that source of truth in an environment, taking data from your whole environment, has basically now said that cyber attack asset security management is dead. They've launched their asset cloud, but they're now taking cloud inventory. They're now taking identity inventory, and they're now taking all of that data and making it actionable. So if you've got any kind of exposure within your environment, it's going to understand that and be able to actually action it. Abnormal, absolute rocket ship for Ignition, and they announced probably their biggest product releases yet, the AI phishing coach. So now you've got basically a one-to-one AI coach that will tell you if you're getting phishing emails coming in, if you're responding to emails that you shouldn't be. Basically that more interactive, intelligent way of educating the end users, not those horrible, boring videos that many of us are used to. They've now also got an AI data analyst report that can basically be run to show you or the executives where the threat is coming from and the risk to your business, and a plethora of email security enhancements to the actual functionality of the product, including adding Microsoft quarantine emails to the abnormal SOC. Beyond Trust, moving towards that platform play trend. As you know, Beyond Trust has made a lot of significant acquisitions over the years. They've now brought all of that together under the banner of Pathfinder, where you've got single sign-on and the solutions working closely together. So you've got a single pane of glass for all your privileged access management and remote access needs. And then for you as partners, they've got the Insight Security Assessment. So if you want to go and do an audit of somebody's environment in terms of what their privilege and identity looks like, there's an assessment there for you to take into your customers and demonstrate value. CrowdStrike, lots of enhancements. Agentic AI enhancing Charlotte, so offloading the burden to the SOC engineer, so automating more of those tasks. Falcon for IT, for your just traditional IT and endpoint management. They've released a PAM module, yet to see it, but interested to see where they're taking that. Their Pulse services, which is their consultancy service, can now be tailored for your requirements. And in terms of that ecosystem data gold rush play, Overwatch, which is their managed service, can now incorporate third-party data, which is a significant move in the industry. So not only are they looking at CrowdStrike data to make their decisions, they're now looking at third-party data. ExtraHop, as well as AI being a friend, it's also a foe. ExtraHop now has offerings to allow you to look for things like shadow AI in your environment. In terms of platform play and consolidation, they've now consolidated all of their functionality into one sensor. A significant move. Illumio, more visibility, easier to demonstrate. Again, Illumio Insights gives you a dashboard of finding out where all your connections and what your traffic profile looks like. And there's an assessment again available for partners to go into an environment and demonstrate what an environment looks like from a connectivity profile and a traffic profile, so that you can then apply policy to that environment. SailPoint, Agentic AI, SailPoint Harbor, automating a lot of those tasks that otherwise a human would have to partake in. They've introduced data access security, so they can look at what data is being accessed by users, particularly with NetApp and Dell EMC, and then be able to help you apply policy for that. Connectivity enhancements with a lot of the big SaaS providers. And another key one, non-employee risk management. So identity proofing for onboarding, like contractors and non-corporate staff. And that's now FedRAMP approved, which is again significant. The other thing, agentic identity security, and you're going to see more and more of this. With the more we use agentic AI, how do we trust that agentic AI entity? You know, do we have lifecycle management for those agents? Do we have certificate agent management for those agents? SailPoint have now embarked on that journey where they can help you secure that access. And then I think this is my final vendor update, AI scoping bots. So now Synac can basically run bots in the environment to discover if you've got AI. A lot of the conversations we've had in the last 12, 18 months around AI is that people don't know what they've got. We're still in that visibility audit stage before we can then start securing it, which then also brings me on to Synac can now do LLM testing, so that if you have got it, you know, making sure it meets best practice and is secure, because with more AI we've got, the bigger threat we've got to that being attacked. They've also started buddying up in terms of building out their ecosystem with leveraging data from their technology alliance partners. So they can now take in data from the likes of Palo Alto Networks Expanse, which is Palo Alto's attack surface management solution, and they can leverage that data to do their penetration testing, application testing, and they can also do the same with Tenable, and that's an ever-growing list.